Breaking news. Families of EU employees are beginning to evacuate Gaza. A senior U.S. diplomat has stated that in order for Hamas to receive a substantial increase in aid to Gaza and an end to the fighting, the group must release more hostages. Humanitarian aid should not be contingent on the release of prisoners held by Hamas, according to Jordan's foreign minister, who strongly condemned the remarks. Many Palestinians have sought refuge in the south of the Gaza Strip after being urged to evacuate by the Israeli military, and Israel has said that their ground offensive in the north may be expanded to that area. The death toll in Gaza has surpassed 12,000 since the war began on October 7, according to officials from Hamas, an organization that is considered a terrorist threat by the US and the EU. To read more about the conflict between Israel and Hamas, click here. Turkey to implement nuclear inspections, says Erdogan, 3 p.m. On his way back from Germany, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan informed journalists that Turkey will approach the International Atomic Energy Agency to ask for an inspection mechanism, due to Israel's lack of compliance with the UN's Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. "We will continue to pressure from this angle," Erdogan stated during his meeting with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz on Friday night in Berlin. It is widely believed that Israel possesses atomic weapons. Earlier this week, the Turkish leader demanded that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel disclose this fact. Erdogan to facing harsh criticism over Israel position, according to Scholz. Families of EU employees departing Gaza. Borrell, 2 p.m. The top foreign policy official of the European Commission, Josep Borrell, confirmed in a post on X that 19 dependents of EU staff have departed Gaza. With this group, he said, the first EU local staff and their families have ever left the area. No forcible displacement of Palestinians, according to von der Leyen, 1 p.m. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that she and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi discussed the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. On Saturday, she is also anticipated to visit Jordan. A political horizon based on a two-state solution and the principle of no forced displacement of Palestinians were agreed upon, according to von der Leyen, who thanked Egypt for its role in facilitating humanitarian aid to the Palestinians. While it is true that more humanitarian aid should reach Gaza, Borrell argued in Bahrain that, what is more needed is to stop the cause that humanitarian aid is needed. Israel reportedly attacked an aluminum factory in Lebanon at 11:15 a.m. Lebanese state media reported that at approximately 4 a.m. local time on Saturday, an aluminum factory in southern Lebanon was attacked by Israeli forces. According to the national news agency, the plant was located in Nabatea, not far from the Israeli border. According to NNA, this marks Israel's first attack on the region since its war with Hezbollah in 2006. 11 a.m. U.S. demands that Hamas free hostages so that Gaza can receive more aid. On Saturday, a senior U.S. envoy to the Middle East stated that in order to secure a substantial increase in aid to Gaza and an end to the fighting, Hamas must release additional hostages. To increase aid to Gaza, the United States says Hamas must release hostages. A pause in fighting, an influx of humanitarian aid, and the release of hostages are all contingent upon the release of the hostages, according to Brett McGurk, Joe Biden's coordinator for the Middle East and North Africa. Hostage negotiations have progressed thus far, according to McGurk, who made the statement while speaking at the IISS Manama Dialogue, a regional security conference in Bahrain. Israeli authorities refute reports that they ordered Al-Shifa hospital evacuation, 9:30 a.m. According to the Israeli Defense Forces, they granted the director's request to let civilians taking refuge at Gaza City's Al-Shifa hospital evacuate via a humanitarian hospital. Reportedly, it was demanding that patients leave the hospital. The Israeli-Hamas conflict has shifted its focus to Al-Shifa, the largest hospital in Gaza. Israel claims that Hamas runs a base beneath the complex and is attempting to seize control of it. The attacks on Gazan hospitals have Israel under growing international pressure. We will take the necessary steps to facilitate medical evacuation coordination and transfer patients to other hospitals, the IDF stated. Palestinians injured in Gaza reach UAE, 9:25 a.m. The UAE has announced that it will treat 1,000 children in its hospitals after receiving the first plane carrying injured people from Gaza. The plane departed from Egypt with a group of 15 individuals, including children and their families, as reported by Afra al-Hameli, the Director of Strategic Communications for the UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs. After the fighting stops in Gaza, Arab states will not send troops, according to Jordan, 9:15 a.m. Arab nations will not clean up Gaza once Israeli military operations conclude, according to Jordan's foreign minister, who echoed the country's demands for a ceasefire. So, our job is to come and tidy up, huh? Speaking at a security conference in Bahrain, Ayman Safadi, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, said, "That's absolutely not going to occur." In addition, he stated that Arab forces would not be participating in post-war Gaza peacekeeping operations. Representing Jordan, yet after consulting with nearly all of our brothers, I can say with certainty that no Arab forces will be sent to Gaza, he declared. We will not be perceived as adversaries. At 8:40 a.m., Israel attacked a suspected terrorist hideout in the West Bank. During the night, Israeli forces reportedly eliminated several terrorists in the Balata refugee camp near Nablus, a city in the West Bank. Striking a hideout apartment and killing Mohammed Zahed was part of an operation with Shin Bet, Israel's domestic intelligence agency. According to the military, he was a key terrorist figure who has plotted additional assaults on Israel. According to Bloomberg, none of the assertions could be confirmed at this time. According to ISW, Iraqi militias have announced 3 additional attacks on U.S. bases, 5 a.m. 3 attacks targeting U.S. positions in Iraq and Syria on November 17 were carried out by the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, a coalition of Iranian-backed Iraqi militias, stated the U.S.-based Institute for the Study of War. Iraqi and Syrian bases in the northeast were allegedly targeted. Since the conflict started, 81 attacks targeting U.S. forces in the Middle East have been claimed by the Islamic Resistance in Iraq and its affiliates, according to ISW. As fuel arrives, parts of Gaza have restored telecoms, 10:15 p.m. After receiving fuel from the UN aid agency, which was authorized by Israel, the main telecom operator in Gaza was able to restore services in part of the strip, according to the operator. Since Thursday, almost all forms of electronic communication have been unavailable to the Gazan people, including the internet and mobile phones. The goal of approving 2 diesel tankers per day into Gaza was to support the water and sewage systems and prevent disease outbreaks, according to Israel's war cabinet. Because of concerns that Hamas might use the fuel for military purposes, Israel has been hesitant to permit its import. The United States is among several countries that have put more and more pressure on it. At 9:15 p.m., Israel announced that its offensive could reach southern Gaza. The current fighting is mostly limited to the northern part of the Gaza Strip, but hundreds of thousands of civilians have fled to the southern part, according to Israel's main army spokesman, who said that the military could extend its attack on Hamas to southern Gaza. Counter-Hamas initiatives, according to Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, will happen every place where Hamas is, and Hamas is also in the south of Gaza, during a briefing. From southern Gaza, rockets were fired at Tel Aviv and the surrounding areas, wounding 5 Israelis, according to Army radio. The death toll in Gaza has surpassed 12,000, according to Hamas officials, 8:10 p.m. According to the Gaza government media office run by Hamas, over 12,000 Palestinians have lost their lives in the territory since the conflict started on October 7. According to the agency's press briefing, 3,750 individuals are either missing or trapped beneath the debris of the destroyed buildings. The Gaza Health Ministry has been unable to provide an updated death toll for 5 days due to a communication blackout and logistical difficulties.